Okay, now let's talk about green screen options. If you decide to do green screen recording or chroma key recording in your home studio or mini studio in your office, what are the options? What should you know and what should you buy? So let's look at a few green screen factors right now. You could create a green screen by painting your wall or by using an actual green screen. And you could also have different sizes of screens. For example, large screens, small screens, portable screens, fixed screens, roll-up screens, etc. There are a lot of options to choose from. When it comes to the material, there's also the fabric, which is known as the muslin fabric versus synthetic materials. So a muslin fabric is a special kind of fabric that does not reflect light as much as normal fabrics, and that is very important with green screen, because the last thing you want is for the green color to be reflected all over you, all over your shoulders, your face, or all over the room. The next thing you need to consider with green screen recording also is that the additional lights and space required for green screen recording. You would definitely, I would say, it's safe to assume that for successful green screen recording and editing, you would definitely need more space than what you have right now, or you need to find a smart way to organize things around your studio so that you can squeeze out the additional space that is required. So when it comes to green screens and you talk about walls versus screens, this is what I think, this is what I feel. Again, I'm not an industry professional in green screen recording, but I've done some research and this is my opinion on walls versus screen. So some people say that, why don't you just paint your wall green? Instead of having to buy a green screen and deal with the hassle of putting up your green screen and maintaining the green screen, just paint the wall. That seems like a very logical thing to do. But I think painting your walls is a huge commitment. And of course, once you've painted your wall green, then there's pretty much only one use for it, which is to act as your green screen. And as you can see that the type of green used in green screens is hideous. So if you're not doing green screen, then it's a really hideous background for almost anything else. Even if you're doing a Skype call with someone, the green color is really hideous, it's really distracting. So it's a huge commitment. Once you paint your wall, it's done. And if you made a mistake, then there's a lot of backtracking that you need to do to correct that mistake. I prefer screens because screens are portable and replaceable. And of course, screens, there are many options in screens, and you can't go wrong with a green screen that is meant for chroma key recording. You can create your own green screen by just going to the nearest fabric shop that you know of and trying to find a green fabric, but not all green fabrics are suitable for green screen recording. Mostly because it's the type of green color that really matters, and it has to be an even green color without any patterns, without any tonal differences. And the fabric also matters a lot. Some kind of fabric really reflects a lot of light, and you don't want that kind of fabric. So if you want to do it DIY, then you can go ahead and do it DIY, but there's so many ready-made screens out there that are portable, replaceable, and surprisingly enough, quite affordable for beginners to try. Now the next thing is that, remember, you only need a small portion of the green screen. So when it comes to sizes, why would I want to paint my entire wall green, right? Because I would need to light up my entire wall, and that's going to be too much of a hassle. It's going to require too much lighting. So if I only need a small portion of my wall to be green, then why would I want to paint it green in the first place? I can just use a screen. So still, I prefer screens than the idea of having to paint my wall. Now let's talk about the sizes of green screens. So as I mentioned, the amount of lighting required increases as the size of your green screen increases. So if possible, try to keep your green screen as small or the area of green chroma key as small as possible, so that you will require as little lights as possible. Again, I think with a green screen recording, you cannot escape from the fact that you need a minimum of 4 lights. But if you go too big with your green screen, you may require more lights, and the additional section of your green screen that you're not going to use anyway could actually get in the way of you doing a successful green screen recording, because it does reflect certain amount of light as well, reflection that you may not really want. Now, space required is much larger for green screens. So in the studio that I have right now, I have attempted a green screen recording, but what I did was I bought a huge green screen, and it was at least 10 feet wide. So it does fit in my studio, it does fit perfectly on the background, but the green screens are held in place with a green screen stand, which is 2 stands, 3 legs each, so it's like a tripod. Now I don't have enough space for that, so as a result my green screen has to be tilted to fit the green screen stands. Or if I don't want to tilt it, then the stands or the holders of the stands are going to be something like this. Okay, so that was the problem that I have in this studio. I can get rid of the stand and just use the fabric on my studio, but I realized there's a lot of different options which I will talk about now, and I actually prefer to try those other options with synthetic materials, smaller sizes green screen instead of a huge one that I have. Now, of course, what I'm doing here is just a solo video. It's just me speaking in a talking head format to the screen. But if you plan to have multiple people in the video for green screen, then it becomes a little more challenging. You need more space, you need more lighting, etc. For me, however, I don't see the need to go too big with my green screen. Next is talking head versus full body. So as I already mentioned here, if you just want to capture only this part of yourself, then you require less green screen space. If I want to move back and actually capture full body up to my legs, then I need green screens, a fabric. I definitely need a fabric, and I need a very long fabric that can go all the way from the top to the bottom and on the floor, because every single part needs to be fully covered by the fabric or the green screen material. In my case, I think I will only really be doing a talking head kind of video, because what I want to do is I want to create really good instructional videos with animation, music and text done seamlessly into a single video, instead of having to shift between myself and the text or presentation material, as you can see in this video. So here are some green screen options that I recommend. You have the green screen backdrop set, and you can get this from Amazon. It costs about 82 bucks on Amazon, and it works really well, but it's huge. Okay, it is 10 feet by 12 feet wide, 10 feet wide by 12 feet tall actually. So if you want to do multiple people in your video with recording green screen, and you want to capture full body shot of yourself, either standing up or sitting down, as long as it's full, you definitely need at least 12 feet of space for your green screen. As you can see from the picture, it will cover the background and also the floor, and of course you will need much more lighting as well. So it costs 82 bucks on Amazon. Again, the link, you can get it from the presentation slides. Now this is a muslin cloth, so it's fabric and it's a non-reflective type of fabric. And the problem with fabric, of course, also is that it gets crumpled and you need to uncrumple it, or you need to iron it, etc. But there is another option, a green screen panel, and this is what I plan to buy very soon. So it's by Cowboy Studio reversible background panel. One side is green, the other side is blue, so it's perfect if you want to use blue or green screen. It comes in both colors, you just need to reverse it. This is cheaper, much cheaper, $42 on Amazon, and very similar to the blackout or the panels on your car that blackout or block out the sun. You can very easily collapse these panels just by twisting them and putting them back into a circle. So if you're just wanting to do talking head videos, which is what I want to do in my studio, then this will be a much better option, because I don't need to deal with the hassle of putting up the stands, the hassle of maintaining the fabric, ironing the fabric, getting rid of all the crumples in the fabric. And this is much more portable, of course, and as long as it covers a big enough area for me to do my talking head video, then that's great. And as you can see, it will also require much less lighting. Well, actually, it will make it easier for me to understand which parts of the screen I need to light, because obviously there's a black border around the screen, so I can focus my lights only on the screen, and hopefully I'll get a much better result We will know. Stay tuned. In this course, when I start doing green screen recording fully, I will also explain more on green screen tips.